Hi, and welcome to the Senior Living Show. I'm Vicki Rogers. We are talking about things that you need to know, all kinds of topics, interesting topics to help you live the best years of your life. We're celebrating. We're all living them right now, right? We're going to be talking to a gentleman from Visiting Angels. They're a wonderful organization there. He is a local Louisvillian who owns a franchise in Jefferson and Oldham County. His name's Andy Block. He's going to give you all kinds of great information about what Visiting Angels can do to help you or someone that you love. We're also going to be talking to Scott Neal from caregiverscircle.com. He's got all kinds of wonderful information. He's a resource for seniors and folks that are caring for seniors. So he's got lots of great info to share also. And then Paul Najar and I are going to share our bucket list items. If you don't have a bucket list, you be thinking about them right now. Start jotting them down and see how they align with ours. We've got some great ideas on maybe to inspire you to do some fun things and start marking off your bucket list. We'll be back with more in just a few minutes on the Senior Living Show.
For over 65 years, families have trusted Coit to deep clean just about everything, all backed by our 100% satisfaction guarantee. Clean as new. That's the Coit commitment to you. Call 1-800-FOR-COIT today to schedule your Coit cleaning and save 30%.
100 years ago, we were selling appliances like these. Things have changed over the years, but one thing that hasn't is our commitment to our customers. And our growth has allowed us to carry the best selection of today's top brands. We wouldn't be one of the nation's oldest appliance dealers if we didn't provide professional salespeople and custom installation. The same thing that was true 100 years ago is still true today. There's no hassle at Bonnie Castle.
For over 65 years, families have trusted Coit to deep clean just about everything, all backed by our 100% satisfaction guarantee. Clean as new. That's the Coit commitment to you. Call 1-800-FOR-COIT today to schedule your Coit cleaning and save 30%.
Welcome back to the Senior Living Show. I'm Vicki Rogers. Here with me, we're so happy to have Andy Block with Visiting Angels. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Good to be with you.
Tell us a little bit about your background and why you got involved in the franchise called Visiting Angels.
There's a huge need for seniors to have care at home. There's a lot of underserved people out there in terms of they don't have time, the family doesn't necessarily have time to help them. They're living alone, maybe they have a spouse, maybe they don't, but they can't, maybe they don't drive anymore. There's a lot of need out there for senior care.
And then what's your background, Andy? How did you get interested in healthcare?
Well, I worked for a medical device company for a long time, and it sort of was just on the same track. So I enjoy helping people and meeting with families and helping people out.
Okay, now I understand that Visiting Angels have been around since 1998, is that right? So,
yes.
Yeah.
They're out of Pennsylvania. It's one of the biggest home care companies in the country, and we have a lot of great franchisees and owners that really enjoy what we do and work very hard every day. It's a 24/7 business.
Yeah,
you know?
It sure is. So are your phones open 24/7?
They are. We have a scheduler that is on call 24/7. We have office staff, and we make sure we can start care when people need it.
Okay, and you serve which counties do you serve?
Oh, we serve the greater Louisville area. We serve Jefferson and Oldham County.
Okay.
Yep, we have an office in Bardstown, and then we have an office in southern Indiana. So Visiting Angels is all around the Kentuckiana area.
And tell everybody all the services that you offer, because I understand you offer a lot.
Primarily, what you need to think of is non-medical. So people often confuse the services with home health care, which might be someone that would come after a hospitalization or a rehab or something like that. So primarily the services that we are offering are non-medical. It's personal care, housekeeping, maybe helping people with showers, driving. It's essentially care for when someone else can't be there or things that the people can't do on their own. So it could be some people just get 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. a few days a week. Some people have 12-hour shifts. Some people need overnights, but we offer assistance with showers, assistance with using a restroom. Sometimes people, when they're at home, they need some personal CNA type of care, and some people just need a little bit of companionship. If you have dementia or something like that, they might just sort of be needing someone there while a spouse or a family member goes and does something else for the day because they can't be left alone. You know?
And I also understand that you also will take people in cars and give them rides wherever they need to go, to the doctor, anything,
Yes,
right?
we
Which I
do.
love that.
We do, and we can drive the client's car or we can take our own vehicle. So often the family's members have their own vehicles and they're excited to keep in their own car, so we can drive those cars if they're comfortable, or we can take them somewhere. A lot of the time that's when the front end of care starts, is when someone isn't driving anymore.
Okay.
And that's a smart time to start care.
Yeah, excellent. Well, we're going to be back in just a couple of minutes with lots more great information about visiting angels on the Senior Living Show.
Burkhead Heating and Air Conditioning, your independent Trane dealer, has been serving the Louisville area since 1947. The customer service is second to none, and their job is not complete until you are satisfied. Call 367-1212 for all your family and business needs. Burkhead Heating and Air Conditioning, your independent Trane dealer, is the company to keep you comfortable year-round. Call 367-1212 today. You're a step ahead with Burkhead and Trane. It's hard to stop a train.
A few years ago, I was very embarrassed about my weight. I had lost weight in the past, but no matter what I tried, I just couldn't seem to lose it this time. I needed a plan. Imagine that. I needed a coach. That's when I turned to InShape MD, and wow, did their program work. I lost 42 pounds in the very first month. Now, I'm down 73 pounds, and I feel tremendous. It worked for me, and it will work for you. Let InShape MD be your coach, and you will love the results.
Welcome back to the Senior Living Show. We're talking to Andy Block from Visiting Angels. He's got that franchise, which is a wonderful in-home health care for all your loved ones. Now, what is very cool, Andy, is that I understand you're hiring.
We are. We would love to have some new visiting angels.
Yeah.
And that's what we call them, is our angels. And it's more than just a job. You know, you're helping people with things that they really, really need. You're helping them maybe with some companionship. Maybe they're a little bit lonely. We do help people with transportation. And we're looking for people that have a true heart that want to do this kind of work. You do get paid. It's not a volunteer organization. But we do want people that are geared towards doing that, that really want to help folks.
Do they need previous experience?
We do like people to have 6 months to a year of experience. Depends on what they want to do. If you want to be a companion caregiver and just do light housekeeping, you may not need quite as much experience. But if you're going to do more of the CNA type of care and that sort of thing, maybe helping people with personal care, showering, then you might need to have a little bit more experience. And we help people with that. We have good training programs and things like that.
Okay, is there an age range of people you're looking to hire?
We hire people of all ranges, all age ranges and backgrounds.
Okay.
Yes, so no, there's not really a particular age range.
Okay, and then I understand that you have a special story about somebody that you're currently helping right now that's really making a difference. Andy, tell us about that.
Yeah, there's a guy named Walter. He's a Vietnam veteran, and he got in a very serious car accident, head-on hit by a vehicle parts truck that was in transit, and he woke up in the hospital 6 weeks later. Had no idea what happened. Really not in touch with his family a whole lot, which we find, unfortunately, with a lot of veterans are kind of sometimes on their own a little bit. But he wasn't really sure he was going to keep going. And we ended up coming there and helping him out. I met him on a Friday night, and we set up care 3 or 4 days a week to come in and help him at home. I helped him with his remote control that night, and he was excited to watch his NBA. But he was happy to have a new person there in his life that he would see on a weekly basis that could help him with the things that he struggles with. Mm-hmm. So just having him there, he actually does a baseball show here in town, used to. But that particular one really got me because he was not wanting to recover from that accident, and having someone be able to come in and spend time with him and help him with his bathing and his showering and his grocery shopping, it really meant a lot to him.
You guys are really doing incredible work. Once again, it's Visiting Angels, and if you want employment opportunity information, or if you've got a loved one, or maybe you could use a little extra help around the house, or your loved one could, you definitely need to contact those angels at Visiting Angels. Now, Andy, tell everybody how they can get more information.
You can give us a call at 502-526-0538, And you can go to visitingangels.com/Louisville.
We'll be back after this break with more on the Senior Living Show. Welcome back. We're here with Scott Neal, who is the president of D. Scott Neal Incorporated and founder of CaregiverCircle.com. Welcome back.
Well, thanks, Vicki.
Yeah, we're talking about living arrangements. Tell me a little bit about that.
That's one of the things that we deal with in Caregiver Circle. Well, for the 33 years that I've been doing financial planning, I've always asked clients what they plan to do as far as their living arrangements in elderhood. And in all of those years, I've counseled with hundreds of clients, and I think I've had one who has said she wants to go to a nursing home. As you might imagine, the more predominant answer is, I want to stay at home. I want to age in place. And the options have expanded so much over the last few years.
Well, what are the options today?
Well, I think largely there are three.
Okay.
That is living at home, either with a companion or a caregiver. Living with a friend or relative. I once had a client that I recommended to the daughter that she allow her mother to come and move in with her. And she said, oh my goodness, I would be probably arrested for patricide. I had to, I thought I knew what it meant, but I had to go look up the word to make sure, and you can imagine. The third area is that of institutional living. And people generally think about nursing home when they think about that. Had another client years ago who was applying for some long-term care insurance. We don't sell it, but we certainly advise clients what they need. And I was reading over her proposal, and she said it said that she had to be incapable of performing 3 of the activities of daily living. And she said, my lands, if I'm that sick, I don't need to be staying at home. Because the care policy was going to pay for care at home if she was incapacitated from doing those 3 things.
Well, what are the activities of daily living?
Well, we've got dressing, we've got eating, we've got bathing, we've got continence, we've got toileting, we've got dressing ourselves. Those are primarily the basic activities of daily living.
And they need to be able to do 3.
Well,
they need to be unable.
In her case, she needed to have the incapacity of performing at least 3 of those.
Okay, so unable to do
Unable to do those.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the way that long-term care policies kick in a benefit.
I see.
Is the incapacity to be able to do any of the, and some of them will do 2, some of them will do 3. But anyway, that's a measure and an assessment that you can do. And on CaregiverCircle.com, we do have an assessment tool that enables the caregiver to go online and take the assessment to be able to do that.
Okay, well, what about cooking?
Well, I'm glad you suggested that. You know, one of the activities of daily living is eating, but it doesn't say a thing about preparing the food. If you're incapable of preparing your food, that's a functional or instrumental daily activity of daily living, and policies are usually silent on those things.
Okay, well, let's talk about something called aging in place. Explain that to us.
Well, everyone seems to want to age in place, and so but they discount what work is required in order to do that. When my wife and I decided that we wanted to find a house where our last house to where I could age in place, because I'm 10 years older than she is. We went shopping online and specified that we wanted a first floor bedroom, we wanted a master suite down there, and we wanted the kitchen and all that sort of stuff on the first floor. The house that we fell in love with had 5 steps to get in from any direction. And so, being the planner that I am, I quickly surmised that, well, we can tear out the steps in the garage and replace it with one of those chair lifts, and I can roll into the kitchen.
That's perfect. All right, well, thank you so much. You've got great information here. I appreciate everything, yeah.
Well, join us on CaregiverCircle.com. We talk about things like this.
We'll see you next time.
Merkhead Heating and Air Conditioning, your independent Trane dealer, has been serving the Louisville area since 1947. The customer service is second to none, and their job is not complete until you are satisfied. Call 367-1212 for all your family and business needs. Merkhead Heating and Air Conditioning, your independent Trane dealer, is the company to keep you comfortable year-round. Call 367-1212 today. You're a step ahead with Merkhead and Trane. It's hard to stop a train.
Welcome back to the Senior Living Show. I'm Vicki Rogers.
And I'm Paul Najar. And Vicki, what a great show so far today. And we've got something really fun planned here for everybody. This segment's all about your bucket list items. Now, we've seen the movie, we've heard about this. First of all, the ideas, Vicki, for your bucket list, the ideas can come from anywhere. I've got siblings who wanted to take a carriage ride through Central Park, who in New York, who wanted in the middle of winter, of course.
With the blankets, with the fur blankets.
Who wanted to go here, there, do this, do that, go to wine country. But the one thing we want to start before we get into some actual items that we'd like to knock off that list is to plan for it. And any good trip, any good idea, it starts with a plan, and you plot this out and you see where it goes, right?
Right. Well, one of the things that you should do is figure out what your hobbies are, figure out how to take your hobbies and make a list out of your hobbies and take your hobby to the next level if you haven't done that yet.
Love sports, right? I love sports.
Yes,
You love sports. You're a tennis player. I'm a tennis player. I want to go to Wimbledon.
Yes.
But if I go to Wimbledon, why don't I have an idea of going over, it's late June, early July, you go to Wimbledon, you see the sights, then maybe 2 weeks later, you extend that stay if you can, go up to the Lake District, see the sights all through England, maybe a little Ireland, and go to the British Open. Why not? Wrap that all up in one.
Exactly, and I actually did. I did about 13 years ago go to Wimbledon. It was so amazing.
Jealous.
I know, you see the grass, and you're like, I just want to get a blade.
Have you ever played on grass courts?
Yes, I have actually.
I have too.
Really different. It's easier than you think. The ball bounces just fine.
I played at the International Hall of Fame, Tennis Hall of Fame in Newport in Rhode Island.
Did you?
It is amazing. Wow. It was an amazing experience. 1 hour, you pay your fee to use the court. It was wonderful. For a little while there, I wanted to be McEnroe, but not quite.
I'm sure you are.
But one of the other things on the bucket list, you hear about skydiving. And I actually, about 20 years ago, I was scheduled to skydive. And there were storms for a week. That whole weekend that I was supposed to go, it stormed, and they said no, and I just sort of took that as a sign, don't go.
That was a sign from God.
Sure.
Absolutely.
One of your list, on your list, one of your items.
Okay, besides the tennis, I want to go to the, I've been to Wimbledon. I want to go to the U.S. Open. I haven't even been there. I want to go to the Australian Open and, of course, the French, so I want to do all those. And then, I wish Led Zeppelin would get back together. I would like to go see them. But did you see that it was an April Fool thing?
I did see that, but did you get to see at least Robert Plant with Alison Krauss, maybe,
I did.
in Louisville?
That was on my bucket list, and I checked it.
And it was pretty amazing that they were able to do in their performance what they're not able to do off stage because they did not get along.
Oh,
there is a big story about that right here in Louisville, actually.
Really?
Yeah, he's tough to get along with, Robert Plant, but
a little bit of an ego, perhaps.
Yeah, and Alison Krauss. I mean, how do you not get along with her?
She's a
So
doll.
you got to see them.
Yes.
And why don't we talk when we get back? We'll talk more about how to execute some of these plans and some of these places you might want to travel and wrap your hobbies around your bucket list items. We'll be back with more on the Senior Living Show.
A few years ago, I was very embarrassed about my weight. I had lost weight in the past, but no matter what I tried, I just couldn't seem to lose it this time. I needed a plan. Imagine that. I needed a coach. That's when I turned to Enget MD, and wow, did their program work. I lost 42 pounds in the very first month. Now, I'm down 73 pounds, and I feel tremendous. It worked for me, and it will work for you. Let Enget MD be your coach, and you will love the results.
For over 40 years, Superior Van and Mobility has been providing Louisville with state-of-the-art mobility solutions. We offer the latest vehicle conversions by Braun Ability, as well as custom lifts by Bruno. To go along with our knowledgeable, friendly staff and our expansive inventory, we now have an incredible new showroom and service center at 1506 Lakeshore Court near Hurstbourne Parkway and I-64. Stop by or visit us on the web at superiorvan.com.
To the Senior Living Show, Paul Najar alongside Vicki Rogers. And Vicki, we're on our bucket list items. Grand Canyon's one of mine.
It's on mine too. I've not been to the Grand Canyon.
I think that's a great idea for a show. Why not? Us too.
Yes.
Grand Canyon.
We're going.
We'll take our iPhone. We'll just make it happen.
That's right.
It'll work.
Other places you want to travel, I know you've got a lot.
There are a couple. One, I saw and visited my family in Italy. Found them, my cousins, my great aunt, some things that were really spectacular. And on that trip, it was a spring break. It was Easter time. I got to go some of the great cathedrals in Italy. The Florence Cathedral, it's 500 plus years old, and it's phenomenal. And to see what they do, 200,000 people gathered around to see the festivities. But I want to see the family in Lebanon. My father's from Lebanon, and I would love to see my cousins there. Every time I have that opportunity, it just sort of they say, probably not a good time. But eventually, that would be one place.
Did you visit the Vatican and the Sistine Chapel?
I have not visited Rome, but that would be a part of another trip if I go to that part of Europe. I do want to go to Eastern Europe. Normandy, at first, I want to see, I want to visit the Veterans Memorial there, the World War II Memorial there, and then maybe get to some of those Eastern Bloc capitals, the old Prague and Warsaw and Vienna and Budapest and those places, just to see some of the sights, take in some of the, maybe the opera houses and cathedrals there as well.
That's neat. I love that idea.
Well, this is what you call your bucket list, how to plan it and make it efficient.
Okay, and I've got one on my bucket list that I'm actually tackling right now, and it's ballroom dancing. How about that?
Oh my!
Always wanted to do it.
You'll be like go to Vienna and ballroom dance, right?
Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I'm actually doing. It's for a fundraiser for a nonprofit organization called. It's the Breakaway House. It's in New Albany, and it is a recovery house for women in New Albany, and it is a wonderful organization, and we're doing it to raise money for them. Please go to breakawaydancing.com and vote for me. And so I had to go get my first pair of ballroom dancing shoes. Beautiful. And I've got my dance instructor's named Yanni, and he is fantastic. It's Derby City Ballroom Dancing, and they are wonderful.
It makes you feel like a princess, but I think you're going to step out of those ballroom dancing shoes because you have another item on your bucket list that involves a performance. And what would that be?
Stand-up comedy. I've never done it. I've always wanted to do it. I'm kind of scared about that one. Have you done it?
I have performed. I've performed in front of crowds many times, but I've not done specifically stand-up comedy. I think I've gotten people to laugh at some things that I've done, but it was usually written by someone else. So those are things. Along with going 200 miles an hour, I want to get in a car and go really fast. I've probably broken the speed limit on occasion, maybe doubled the speed limit on occasion, but that's not 200 miles an hour. I'd like to get that sensation. And musically, maybe package a trip to Northern California, wine country and music, a festival there, something like that. And I always, ever since I was a kid, and I don't know if this will ever happen, but Bora Bora has always been on my mind somehow to just relax if you ever had the means and a month of time to do that.
Have you ever sang in front of people?
I have.
Yes, I sing too. So we've already done those.
We've done those, but that's another thing. Getting out of your comfort zone for your bucket list. Vicki, what good stuff.
Yeah, if there's something you dreamed about when you were a kid and you've never done it,
make
a list, narrow it down to 10 things, and then the most important thing is start your timeline. When are you going to do them, right?
And plan for it, exactly. When can we do it? How do we plan the budget? And maybe once you have that plan for that specific bucket list item, you never know what opens up around it. Once you get there and the opportunity to explore, makes it even better. Hey, we're celebrating the best years of life, and this is a way to help celebrate the best years of life, your bucket list items.
Yep.
Vicki, Paul, and we'll be back with more on the Senior Living Show.
I know everybody is always interested in learning where to go and what to do right here in Louisville and Kentuckiana. So here is the Senior Living Show's calendar of events. We had a wonderful show on the Senior Living Show today, don't you think?
Oh, it was terrific, Vicki. I love that to be able to talk about a bucket list items and just puts it into my perspective and gives me a little more clarity as well. That was fun stuff.
Yeah, make sure and make your bucket list out. Don't forget, start today.
Plan.
Yes.
You can make it happen.
Yeah, and we also want to thank Andy Block from Visiting Angels. He was great, had such a lot of wonderful information.
And if you want to get involved and become a visiting angel, fills your spirit with goodness and fills others' lives as well, visitingangels.com/Louisville. Get all that information and contact Andy and his group at visitingangels.com Louisville.
All right, and we also talked to Scott Neal today. We love his information, caregivercircle.com.
Right? Scott Neal just makes things so clear as you keep thinking about some of the things you have to do for your future and for those that you care for, those you love in their futures as well.
Yeah, my mom watches the show, Hey Mom, and she loves Scott Neal's segment every single week. It's so informative, so he's got a lot of great information.
Good stuff from Andy Block, Scott Neal, and our bucket list. I think one of the other things on my bucket list, we're gonna have to go play a round of tennis and see what happens. What do you think?
I'm in.
You and me?
I'm in.
We'll get to it.
Okay.
So, for Vicki Rogers, I'm Paul Najar. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you next week on the Senior Living Show.